Alrighty, so this is going to be a quick video to help go through some data processing specifically for some of the EMG data. So we're going to go do an example real quick with the concentric non-resistance data. In the email, it is the CNR1 data. We're going to work on copy and pasting it, cleaning it up, and getting it the average, and then putting it into the chart. It's basically rinse and repeat for both subjects and all the other data types. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I'm going to do is switch my screen share over to this screen. This should be this one. All right. So what we have here is we've got our CNR1 data. This is the concentric no resistance 1 data. This first column on the left is going to be your bicep data. The column on the right will be your tricep data. And then that's going to go into these charts here. And the number 1 denotes that it is subject 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to click this. We are going to hit Control A. It's going to select all the data. And then we're going to use Control C to copy it. Selecting our Excel sheet, I've already put in subject 1, flex no resistance, the concentric, and then flex no resistance tricep. I'm going to hit Control Z, or Control V rather. Control V is going to copy it into our data set like this. Now, I know that some of the students have been having issues with copying and pasting the data from the web links. I'll be re-uploading those and relinking those in a Drive file so you guys can potentially give it another shot. So a couple things that we're going to do first here. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to take all this data and we need to find the absolute value. One thing I'm going to pull over is this is what the data looks like when we're testing it. So we have up and down movements. One of the things that we ideally want to do is try to get the actual value of this, because theoretically if we average this it'll get pretty close to 0. We just want to see one direction of it. So we're going to use a formula to get the absolute value. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this next one absolute. I'm going to just do ABS for that. And we'll do CNR1 just to make it nice and easy so we don't have to waste a bunch of time typing things out. Let's do ABS CNR1 bicep. And we'll do ABS CNR1 tricep. There we go. So basically we're going to copy these two columns over, but we're going to use a formula to do it. So we're going to type in the equation mark, open parentheses, and we're going to start to type in absolute. So ABS returns the absolute value of a number. So basically strips off the negative values. So we're going to double click that. It's going to do ABS, and we're just going to select that first one. We're going to do close parentheses. So that way it selects it, and it should give you the same exact number without the minus. We're going to do the same thing. What we're going to do is this small little square down here. When you get that solid cross, you're going to click and drag over. That's going to copy the formula over, but it's going to automatically switch it into the B column. So if we look, we have our 0.0311 here, and now we have it without the negative. Same thing for this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, select both those, find that negative point, and a little trick, if you double click it, it'll do it all the way down for you. So you don't have to click and drag and wait to go all the way down, because there's a lot of data points there. All right, so we've got the data initially cleaned. Now we need to find the average for it, because if we find our chart here, we don't have a million different things. We want to find the average for subject 1, and then we're going to average the 2 subjects. So we'll, in any arbitrary spot here, we'll do it right here. We'll do AVG CNR1 bicep. Okay, and so we're just going to put this underneath it. What we're going to do is equals average. We need a, and what you can do is just start typing the word average, double click that, and what you're going to want to do, this one you are going to have to click and drag. You're going to click and drag all the way down. It's going to take a couple of seconds. There's approximately 5,000 data points, so it's going to take a hot second. If you have a slightly older laptop, it may take a little bit longer than a couple of seconds. Your other option is to scroll all the way down and hold shift. All right, so we're pretty much close here to the end. There we go, 5,001 data points. We've selected it all. Don't click anything else. Now that you got that nice blue stripe box going, what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit enter, and that's going to return our value. We're gonna double check. That should be, there we go, C2, the colon, C5001. All right, so that is your average number for your subject CNR1 concentric no resistance for the bicep. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to find that crosshair. We're going to pull it over, and we're going to double check. It's the D column, and there we go. So we have these two numbers. Let's grab our chart, and these simply go into these two columns. We'll do 0.0313, and we'll just go to that fourth decimal point. We don't necessarily need to go any further because it's not going to make us any more specific. And also, we also want to think about significant digits, things like that. For this, just stick to those 4, round up, round down based on rounding rules. Same thing, we're going to do 0.0167. So there you go. Not crazy complicated, but if you don't know how to go about it, it can seem like a bit of a daunting task. So let's re-go through those steps one more time. Copy and paste the data in. Please don't manually copy the data. That is a lot of data points. Use Control A to select everything. That's the default for Windows. And these are Windows shortcuts. You'll have to use the equivalent Macintosh shortcuts if you use a Mac. So Control A to select everything. Control C as in Charlie to copy everything, and then Control V as in Victor to paste it. That'll paste it in. The formulas that you're going to need are going to be equals ABS for the absolute value, and you're going to need equals average to average the two. And remember the trick about double clicking the small little box to auto-complete everything for you. That way you don't have to necessarily drag everything down every single time. So that's the process. You do have a couple different files to do that for. So it is a bit of a rinse and repeat process. Once you fill out, there's the Word document. Once you fill that out, you're just going to average them over here. For the average column here, you're going to want to average the subject 1 bicep, the subject 2 bicep, and that's the number that goes in there. All right. I hope that helps help clean up the data. If you guys are seriously still struggling a little bit early next week, I can manually clean this stuff up, but I would recommend you give it some practice because this is going to be an important skill, especially for those of y'all going into research fields. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out on Blackboard or email, and best of luck. Looking forward to reading some of your lab reports.